Hello, good afternoon, and welcome to Baina Midday News, coming to you live from our news hub, Atomic Junction, Benab House, Accra. My name is Fawzi Abdullah. Coming up this afternoon. The Pilgrims Affairs Office of Ghana has officially closed registration and passport submission for the 2026 Hajj pilgrimage. Also, the government has officially demanded the final investigative report into the death of Ghanaian student in Latvia be made public. And in business, the Deputy CEO of Operations of the Zongo Development Fund has called on small businesses to use business cards to improve their marketing strategies. 38 lead miners were killed when gas exploded in central Nigeria's Plateau State. These and many more stories coming up in the next few minutes. Do stay. You're welcome back. You're watching Baina Midday News and we're streaming live on Facebook and on YouTube at Baina TV. Now to our very first story, President John Dramani Mahama has officially signed a 24-hour Economy Authority bill into law following its passage in Parliament. The new legislation provides statutory backing for the government's flagship economic transformation program aimed at boosting productivity, creating jobs, and enhancing Ghana's global competitiveness.
Cabinet colleagues have just appended my signature to give assent to the 24-hour authority bill. This is a bill Ghanaians have been working for. It was one of our flagship strategies for economic transformation. It's taking a while, but we needed to go patiently through the process to give legal effect to it. And so from now, we must move from strategy to implementation. The business sector is waiting, Ghanaian investors are waiting, foreign investors are waiting. They want to see the package of incentives that we afford them so that they can invest more and expand productivity and also create more employment for our young people. And so it's my pleasure to assent to this bill today. Thank you. And let me congratulate the team that has been working on it, our comrade Guzitando and his team. We're very grateful. Thank you very much.
The 24-hour economy initiative seeks to promote round-the-clock business operations, attract investment, and modernize key sectors of the economy. With the law now in force, the administration is expected to accelerate the implementation of policies that facilitate extended business hours, streamline operations, and support innovation-driven growth. Government officials have hailed the enactment as a milestone in Ghana's economic agenda, emphasizing its potential to stimulate employment, improve trade, and foster a more dynamic business environment. The 24-hour Economy Authority will oversee the program, ensuring its alignment with national development goals. Experts say The law could position Ghana as a hub for continuous commercial activity in West Africa, attracting both local and foreign investors and enhancing the country's economic resilience.
Moving on, the Pilgrims Affairs Office of Ghana has officially announced the closure of registration and passport submission for the 2026 Hajj pilgrimage. In a statement issued on Thursday, 19 February 2026, the PAOG confirmed that all operational processes leading to this year's pilgrimage, including payment, documentation, and submission of passports, were concluded on Tuesday, 17 February 2026.
The office emphasized that only prospective pilgrims who submitted their passports and required documents within the stipulated time frame will be considered for visa processing, noting that compliance with documentation requirements is essential for smooth operations. The statement further highlighted that early payment, medical screening, and timely submission of passports remain critical measures in streamlining Hajj preparations. Medical screening have already been completed in selected regions, with the remaining sessions scheduled for the Ashanti region on 22nd of February and the Greater Accra region on 28th of February. The PAOG urged prospective pilgrims and stakeholders to await further official communication regarding subsequent phases of the pilgrimage. The release was signed by Alhaji Mohammed Amin Lamte Hussein, Director of Communications at the Pilgrims Affairs Office of Ghana.
Moving on further, the Speaker of Parliament, Alban Bagbin, has called for the emergence of a credible third political force in Ghana, arguing that broader political competition would enhance democratic governance and national cohesion. Speaking at a political inclusion and consensus building forum organized by the African Center for Parliamentary Affairs on 18 February 2026, Mr. Bagbin reflected on Ghana's political evolution since the advent of the Fourth Republic in 1992.
Bagbin acknowledged that Ghana's democratic journey has recorded significant milestones, but cautioned against the over-concentration of political power. The speaker recalled his participation in the maiden Congress of the National Democratic Congress in Cape Coast, describing the event as one that embodied national diversity and unity. According to him, the broad representation from across the country fostered a deep sense of belonging and collective purpose. He added that he had also attended congresses of the New Patriotic Party at the invitation of the party, where he observed similar levels of engagement and inclusiveness. Such experiences, he noted, demonstrate that Ghana's democratic culture has benefited from competitive yet participatory politics. Despite these strengths, Mr. Bagbin expressed concern that the political landscape has effectively narrowed two dominant parties.
Now, further in today's bulletin, the National Anti-Illegal Mining Operations Secretariat has foiled a bribery attempt by 3 suspected Galamsey operators following of the Ashanti region. On Wednesday, February 18, 2026, the task force continued its anti-Galamsey operations, revisiting sites at Ejinase and Kokotro, where previous raids had driven illegal miners away.
At Kotokru, the team discovered a Galamsey site dangerously located within the town, threatening the lives, property, and the environment. During the operation, NIMOS destroyed makeshift structures, industrial pumping machine, and other illegal mines. Approached the task force in a black Tundra F150, registration GR4743-16, claiming ownership of the Kotokru site and offering a bribe of 119,825 Ghana cedis to reclaim the seized items. The task force immediately rejected the offer and arrested the trio, handing them over to the Bekwai police station for further investigations and prosecution. The attempted bribe, along with the excavator monitors and vehicle, has been secured at NIMOS headquarters. office. NIMOS has warned all illegal miners and their associates that any attempt to bribe officers will be met with immediate arrest and prosecution. The Secretariat also urged local authorities and security agencies to identify monitoring of previously raided sites to prevent the resumption of illegal mining activities.
Away from that, the government has formally demanded that the final investigative report into the death of Nana Adjei be made available to his family as part of efforts to ensure transparency and accountability in the case. In a statement issued in Accra on February 19, 2026, the Ministry of Foreign Affairs said the request was made during high-level engagement with authorities in Latvia, where a Ghanaian student died under unusual circumstances while studying.
According to the ministry, a delegation led by the Foreign Minister Samuel Okudzeto-Ablakwa traveled to Latvia to press for justice and clarity surrounding the incident. The delegation included forensic experts, a pathologist, lawyer, Ghana's ambassador, and consular officers from the Ghanaian embassy in Berlin. Nana Adjei Ehia's mother and aunt were also represented in meetings with Latvian officials. The delegation held deliberations with Latvia's foreign minister, Minister for the Interior, police chiefs, state prosecutors, and investigators handling the case. Latvian authorities indicated that investigations remain active and are now directly supervised by the Interior Ministry, with fresh investigators appointed due to the high interest shown by the government of Ghana. The ministry further disclosed that the Latvian side welcomed additional submissions relevant to the case. Guided by the Ghanaian delegation, the deceased mother submitted a formal statement to be included in the official investigative record, with further submissions expected. The ministry assured that Ghana remains fully committed to truth, transparency, and justice, adding that it will continue to engage Latvian authorities through appropriate diplomatic and legal channels. It also stated that officials are maintaining close contact with the bereaved family and will provide regular updates as investigations progress.
Now, Muslims across Ghana have officially begun the holy month of Ramadan following the confirmed sighting of the Ramadan moon by the Office of the National Chief Imam. The confirmation was made by the National Chief Imam, Sheikh Dr. Usman Nuhu Shaributu, at his residence in Accra after receiving and verifying reports from various parts of the country. Speaking on behalf of the National Chief Imam, his spokesperson, Sheikh Arimiyahu Anas, said the moon was sighted in several locations across the country, including Kenyase, Bolgatanga, Walewale, Gambaga, Paga, and Boko. The National Chief Imam therefore called on Muslims across the country to observe the fast with sincerity, discipline, and devotion.
On my own behalf, on behalf of the eminent National Chief Imam, I want to welcome you to this very important and very brief national announcement on the commencement of Ramadan 2026. And we are doing so on account of the mandate of the National Chief Imam as the leader of all Muslims in this country. And so we make this official announcement for the commencement of Ramadan 2026 tomorrow. As at the time I speak to you, information that has been received from different regions of the country regarding the sighting of the moon are as follows. In the Ashanti region, we have Kenyase. From Bolga, we have a confirmed information about the sighting of the moon. Walewale, Gambaga, Paga, Golu, and Boko. These are the locations from which we have received authenticated information about the sighting of the moon. On the basis of the authenticity of this information, the Chief Imam, in his mandate as the Chief Imam of Ghana, caused this announcement to be made, confirming the moon has been sighted in Ghana, and in line with our principle to depend on our own sighting of the moon to commence Ramadan, he gives the announcement that tomorrow becomes the first day of Ramadan 2026.
You're still watching Baina Midday News. We'll be back with business and more after this quick breather. Do stay.
It's 4 a.m. The world is still and hearts are awake. This Ramadan, join Imam Abdul Razak Idris Al Hassan on Baina TV for a special tafsir series guiding you through the Quran with wisdom, reflection, and inspiration. Understand the meaning behind every verse, reflect on its lessons, and connect your heart to the words of Allah. Before the day begins, start your mornings with spiritual insights, prayer, and peace. Let the Quran illuminate your day from the first light of dawn. Ramadan Tafsir daily at 4 a.m. with Imam Abdul Razak Idris Al Hassan. Tune in and let the Quran guide your hearts this holy month. To place your advertisement on this program, call 0539 487757.
You're welcome back and thanks for staying. If you just tuned in, you're watching Baina Midday News. I'm streaming live on Facebook and on YouTube at Baina TV. Now let's delve into the world of business, and Hajjaraki Abdullahi, the Deputy CEO of Operations of the Zongo Development Fund, has called on traders and exhibitors, especially small business owners, to improve their marketing strategies by making their business cards readily available to potential customers. Speaking after interacting with several vendors at the recently completed Baina Trade Connect exhibition organized by Baina TV, she said her engagement with them went well, but identified a major gap in the approach to customer relations. According to her, after the interaction, many of the vendors only encouraged her to buy immediately without providing any further contact information for future purchases. She also advised business owners to invest in marketing and branding to grow their business.
Interaction with them went well, but I noticed one thing is lacking. After interacting with them, I should come and buy. I said, okay, fine. It doesn't end here. Yesterday and today, the program, it's also an advertisement. You've advertised yourselves, so you have to give me your numbers. Most of them, and then unfortunately my phone is off. I went for a program at the Wenya, so from the program I said, no, let me come here. Let me come and then pass through. Yesterday I was not able to come, so let me pass through, especially when I'm also a Medina lady. My house is just around the market, so this is my vicinity, this is my community, so I cannot miss this one. So after that I told them that they should give me their numbers, especially if they have complimentary cards. Most of them were not able to give me. They said I should bring my phone. My phone has also gone off. Well, in that case, how do we do it? I even gave them paper to write their numbers. But the point is, it is not just a 2-day event. You've advertised yourself. Someone couldn't buy today. The person has seen the thing is so nice to her. He has not been able to buy. You have to give your contact numbers so that they can come and buy it. Ramadan is a whole month. Yes. So if the person doesn't buy it now, the person might buy it in the middle or latter part of Ramadan. And it doesn't even end with Ramadan. It doesn't end with Eid. It goes, this is a lifetime advertisement and then selling. So one thing I think they have to do is to try and do the complimentary cards. Don't say it's expensive. Don't say it's expensive. Cheap things are expensive. And also, if you want to invest in marketing, you have to invest wholeheartedly. And then it's just like fishing. If you don't put in, you don't get. So this is one thing I observed, and I've told all of them that they should try and do the complimentary cards.
Still on business, the managing director of Produce Buying Company Limited, Seydou Yonye, says the company is in active negotiations with creditors banks after a January 2024 High Court ruling in Accra granted 6 commercial banks the right to recover 495.4 million Ghana cedis in outstanding debts. The ruling authorized the attachment of PBC's immovable properties, a development that casts uncertainty over the future of the state-linked cocoa buying firm. However, the company was quick to indicate that government intervention may now offer a pathway to recovery following recent assurances from the finance minister on plans to stabilize key institutions within the cocoa value chain.
After years of financial distress that pushed it to the edge and triggered property seizures, PBC has announced the nationwide reopening of its buying centers. This signals a determined effort to reclaim its place in Ghana's cocoa trade. Addressing a press briefing in Accra on Wednesday, Mr. Yoni outlined plans to stabilize operations and rebuild stakeholder trust. Responding to questions about the company's debt burden, he explained that management had considered 2 more options, identifying assets that could be used to settle the debts owed to banks and relying on possible government interventions to assume part of the financial burden.
The options was to find out what asset we had that can take care of this debt from the banks. We have been in talks with them. We have been following them. And the other aspect was an expectation of government coming to take off this burden of debts from the bank from us.
Mr. Yonyi noted that the company had been in constant discussions with the banks as part of efforts to resolve the situation. He further indicated that the company had completed the registration of farmers, providing a foundation for future recovery, and expressed confidence that these measures would help PBC return to stronger financial health. He added that since the company falls under the Ministry of Finance, the Finance Minister had already outlined Cabinet's position on PBC, Cocoa Board and CPC, suggesting that a broader plan was in place.
So these are the 2 options available to us, and we are in constant talks with the banks. We have done registration of farmers, we have the basis, and we believe that going forward we can make PBC to bounce back healthier. Fortunately, we fall under Finance Ministry, and the Finance Minister had come out with Cabinet's position on PBC, Cocoa Board, and CPC rather, which obviously they would have had a plan for. So we don't need to talk much on this. The Finance Minister knows the burdens of PBC, and they would have taken all this into consideration, mitigating the challenges that we have and getting us off this.
According to him, the Finance Minister was fully aware of PBC's financial challenges and had taken them into account, with steps expected to be taken to mitigate the difficulties and relieve the company of its debt burden. Seydou Yonyi referenced Cabinet's position as announced by Finance Minister Kaisel Atoforsen, which also addressed the Ghana Cocoa Board and the Cocoa Processing Company. The outcome of the negotiation with banks alongside anticipated government embarking is expected to determine whether PBC can fully stabilize operations and consolidate its return to Ghana's cocoa market.
And in some news beyond our borders, 38 lead miners were killed when gas exploded at a pit in central Nigeria's Plateau State, local sources told AFP. 27 others were injured in the blast at the company's Zurak mining site in Plateau State's Bashar district, the acting traditional ruler told AFP. Company Zurak is an old mining settlement in the Wasi district. Idris told AFP that the site of the explosion is operated by Solid Units Nigeria Limited. The state is a historical mining region with its capital, Jos, known as the Tin City, but mining activities have slowed in recent years. Several similar accidents have killed miners in Nigeria previously. At least 18 people were killed in Zamfara State in the northwest after a boulder crashed into an illegal mine during heavy rains in September. Authorities in the country have blamed illegal mining for the worsening of bandit violence, with criminal gangs getting money from protection fees they extort from miners. And in the world of sports, Ghana Football Association President Kurt Okraku has shared his belief in the steady development of the Ghana national football team, despite their disappointing outing at the 2022 FIFA World Cup. Ghana made a return to the global tournament in Qatar after failing to qualify for the 2018 FIFA World Cup in Russia. However, their 2022 journey ended at the group stage.
The team suffered a defeat to Portugal national football team, secured an exciting 3-2 win over South Korea national football team, and then lost their final group match to Uruguay national football team, finishing last in Group H. In an interview with the media, Okraku admitted that expectations were low before the tournament. He noted that many doubted Ghana's ability to even qualify, but the team defied predictions by overcoming Nigeria in the playoffs and booking their place in Qatar. He emphasized that the squad was young and underestimated, yet they trusted their process and remained determined. Although Ghana did not advance beyond the group stage, Okraku said the team left Qatar with pride, highlighting that they had one of the youngest squad at the tournament and delivered performances that showed promise. He pointed to the strong display against South Korea as a particularly encouraging moment, saying it reinforced optimism about the team's future. Looking ahead, the Black Stars are preparing